On the screen, Chase and my so-called friend Bella were thrashing on the wave mattress I'd picked out from a Manhattan boutique, wailing love songs at the top of their lungs. Meanwhile, I was sprinting up and down the corridors of New York Presbyterian Hospital, waiting on my sick mother-in-law Margaret. No wonder she'd refused a private nurse. She wanted me on my feet, out of the house, so the two of them could play house in my marital loft. My temper spiked. There were 100 hotels in New York City, but they had to defile the home I'd decorated with so much care. Who were they trying to sicken? Fine, don't blame me for what comes next. Before we go any further, smash that subscribe button and tell us in the comments where you're tuning in from. Sis, trust me, pop this limited edition USB drive and you and your hubby will be all hearts and fireworks. Wife giving you grief. Here, bro, watch this footage. Do what it shows and she'll forgive you tonight. Grandpa, grandma, you've been together forever. Right, life's gotten dull. Slip this on and boredom's gone. No charge, just hit us with a 5-star review. By the time I was done, every last USB drive had found a new home. Watching the rearview mirror fill with people hotly debating my handiwork, I wanted to scream. Sweet, I felt freaking invincible. Want to draft me as an extra in your sleazy little drama? Then let's give the audience a full-length show. Back when burglars had broken into this Manhattan building, I'd wired every room except the bathroom with hidden cams. I never imagined I'd catch a pair of two-legged thieves instead. Still, the raw footage was monotonous, same single shot, no variety. That wouldn't do. Contractor, add a pole right here. Yeah. Set the full-length mirror opposite the bed. Put the wave mattress in this room. Serena, what is all this? Seeing Chase's blank stare, I stepped closer and began unbuttoning his shirt with a smile. Honey, I didn't mean to blow up last month. I caught a whiff of perfume on your collar and just lost it. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? The moment I mentioned our fight, Chase puffed up. How many times do I have to say it? Business is business. Am I supposed to walk away from a female client? I do this for us, so our kids will never want for anything. I lowered my eyes. You're right. I've been thinking it over. I won't let jealousy get the better of me again. The apartment, you stormed off to Los Angeles on that trip and wouldn't pick up. I thought redecorating might cheer you up. Well, somebody's learned tact. His leer slid over me. All right, babe, impress me. Disgusting. I cursed inwardly, but kept my meek mask. I just got my period yesterday, so tonight's a no-go. TCH, buzzkill. He stalked into the bathroom. The moment his shirt came off, a soft paunch rolled into view. Ugh. The boy band hunk I'd once dated at NYU had turned into a greasy, bloated stranger. The universe had a vicious sense of humor. A few years earlier, Chase had been gorgeous. We'd fallen in love freely, equals in every way. Our wedding at a Hamptons vineyard felt like a merger of fairy tales. When I first learned he'd cheated, I'd been shattered, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, endlessly blaming myself. Then, after quietly watching him for a while, it hit me. He'd gotten ugly. Slimy talk, retreating hairline, widening torso, his 8-pack had fused into one thick slab. My feelings for him crashed to the floor like a dropped tray. I actually wondered if someone had slipped me a love potion. How else could I have shared a bed with this man? Ding. Chase's phone lit up. I glanced at the bathroom door and opened the message. A photo of Bella wearing next to nothing. Huh, eager little thing. Fine by me. Saves me the trouble. Sure enough, when he re-emerged, he muttered something about an urgent meeting with a client in Brooklyn and bolted. I went back to arranging the loft, determined that every last prop would see action. I still don't get it. There are 1,000 discreet love nests out there. Why here? For the thrill. To rub my face in it. Whatever. I need to invent an excuse that convinces them to test drive every new toy scattered around the apartment. Serena, look, my boyfriend brought this necklace back from his trip to Paris. Really? I dangled it in the light while Bella waited for praise. Nice. My husband never brings me anything when he travels. What can I say? He adores me. Come help me pick an outfit. I want to surprise him. She sped ahead, chin high, while I trailed behind like luggage. Each time I almost drew level, she quickened her step by half a pace. Please, I sneered to myself. Poor thing. She'd endured months of playing my shadow, and now she finally tasted daylight. We'd met at NYU, casual friends who drifted apart after graduation. She resurfaced the moment I got married, inching closer until she declared us besties. Of course, that was her fantasy. I never considered her a soul sister. Bella's ego is sky high, her vanity bottomless. Anything I owned that she didn't, she belittled. Every outfit of mine soon appeared on her in knockoff form from Soho boutiques. When soft avoidance failed, I told her straight up I didn't like it, and she backed off a little. Work schedules kept us from meeting often, thank heaven. Still, I never imagined self-proclaimed royalty would bed Chase. She's beautiful, has a great job at a Manhattan Manhattan PR firm. A mile-long line of suitors. Why stoop to stolen leftovers? Compared to those people, Chase wasn't anything special. Look, what do you think of this one? Bella pointed at a dress that was basically a single scrap of fabric and beamed at me. I smiled sweetly. Your boyfriend's going to be thrilled. Since he's working so hard to make money, I should reward him properly. Serena, come on, help me pick a few more. 3 days later, Chase called me. Serena, Mom's coming to stay for a while. I know you don't like being under the same roof with her, so how about you go back to your parents' place in Los Angeles for a few days? I knew exactly what he was scheming. No need. I haven't taken a trip in ages. I'll take the chance to get away with my brother Max. You're not mad? What's there to be mad about? She's your mother. Of course she should visit. Besides, I'd been looking for an excuse to leave anyway. I'd gone to so much trouble setting out all those toys for the two of you. If you didn't come over to play, it would be such a waste. Just don't let my thoughtful preparations go to waste. Sis, you really don't need my help? Looking at Max's puffed up face, I couldn't help snickering. Nope. We signed a prenup. No kids. And his mom's been dying to trade me in for a new daughter-in-law. But that jerk, Max, was ready to explode. Itching to fly back to New York and fight that man for 300 rounds. Blue skies. White clouds. Gorgeous scenery at a Malibu beach resort. Without that stinking man beside me, the air felt clean for the first time. Right about now, those two should be getting down to deep communication. Babe, look, this woman installed all this stuff.
Ew.
Hard to tell, huh? Anyway, we've got plenty of time. Let's play nice and slow. Which one today? This one, babe. I want to watch you dance. Oh, stop. Clothes slid off as they chased each other around the room. While I sat at the resort editing video, blood pounding with excitement. I could cut clips way faster now. If it weren't for those two, I might never have learned the skill. Yes, just like that. Take it slow, one toy at a time. Make sure every prop earns its keep. That way I've got fresh footage for all my dear viewers, guys, gals, grandpas, grandmas, sis. Have you? A bright voice cut through the indecent soundtrack. I spun around instinctively and saw Max's friend Leo standing in the doorway, eyes wide as saucers. On the laptop screen, the happy couple were still playing their game. Babe, here I come. Oof. Gentle, the air froze. I'd never felt so hopeless in my life. Leo. He cut me off. Head down, words tumbling. Sis. I knocked but no one answered, and the door wasn't shut, so I walked in. I didn't know you were. Sorry, sis. You go ahead. I'll leave. It's not. I mean, I was doomed. My spotless reputation, gone. Chase. Bella. You've ruined me. After that I couldn't face anyone. I holed up in my room most of the time. I took the long way around every corridor, wherever Leo was. I wasn't. One day while those two were off sightseeing in Manhattan, I finally stepped out to relax. I carried a lavish feast onto the Malibu resort's big balcony and killed time rewatching footage. Chase and Bella had absurd stamina. Days of manual labor hadn't tired them one bit. Look at that, door slams shut and they're already chewing on each other.
Aww.
Why didn't they dance this time? What a waste. But no matter, the wave mattress worked just fine. I was enjoying the show when, encore, Leo appeared on the balcony and instantly spotted my phone screen. We locked eyes. Luckily, this time I'd muted it. His face flushed, gaze darting everywhere. Sis, I get it. Everyone has urges. Don't worry, I'm not a blabber. Hey, no, Leo, he bolted again. I was drenched in sweat. Sure, I'd be branded a pervert for life. So what's with you? I heard Chase is pushing divorce. Watching her change topics so smoothly, I almost laugh. The two of them really think everyone else is stupid. Fine by me, otherwise I'd never get those money shots.
Yeah.
It started as a tiny spat, but he blew it up. I've been racking my brain for days. Come up with anything? They say if you keep a man happy in bed, he'll agree to anything. So I'm thinking of trying. You're going to. I searched online, cosplay, kitten, vixen, whatever. Want to shop at that boutique together. Might spice things up with your guy too. Bella ponders. Finally picks out several outfits and leaves. The woman still won't sign. Chase is at his wit's end. Why is being with his darling so hard? Time for an ultimatum. The moment I get Chase's order, I race home, hire a private chef, and fill the table with every libido-boosting dish known to man. Jerk burns through his stamina nightly. I need him alive long enough for my plan to work. He steps in, instantly lured by the fragrant steam. Wow, quite the spread. I hurry over, take his coat, face pale. Chase, let's not fight. Just talk. Tell me what I'm doing wrong and I'll fix it. Please. No divorce. I really don't want to lose you. Huh. Now you play the weakling. Yelling at me was fine before, right? I clutch his hand. Tears streaming. Chase. I love you. I don't want a divorce. No deal. I feel nothing for you anymore. He yanks free and heads for the food. I'm being polite. Serena. Sign the papers or I won't be so nice. I'm not signing. I scream. Slam the door behind me. Chase sighs. Eats his fill. Then texts Bella. A full stomach stirs other appetites. Time to get down to real business. Right then, I was in the Malibu resort, dabbing at my eyes non-stop. I'd overdone the onions, watching the hidden cams. I saw Bella wearing yesterday's shopping haul while she flirted shamelessly with Chase. I couldn't help grinning from ear to ear. Perfect, fresh material. At Chase's urging, I agreed to meet him again. What? 10 million. Have you lost your mind? Is that a lot? My parents bought our marital loft for me. You never chipped in for the renovation. Since you want sole ownership, pay me its cash value. Chase glared daggers. No way. Not happening. I tossed a stack of photos onto the table. His face flipped instantly, veins bulging. You investigated me, Serena. Don't I still count as your husband? Husband, the kind who romances other women under the moonlight in Central Park. Happier than immortals? It's your fault, Serena. You won't play anything exciting. If you kept me thrilled every day, why would I look elsewhere? What twisted logic? Rotten to the core. Sure you won't divorce. Fine. I'll sell my company shares to whoever wants them. Before Chase inherited his father's construction firm, a cash flow rupture had nearly sunk it. My father had paid 10 times market price for 5% of the stock, stabilizing the balance sheet, then given me the stake as a dowry. What are you saying? Chase shot to his feet. Exactly what it sounds like. I knew he'd cave. He only chaired the board because of his father. The other directors collected dividends for zero work. Their interests aligned with his until now. Younger family members were angling for a piece, so the waters were getting choppy. My slice wasn't huge, but if a rival block bought it, his seat would wobble. Predictably, Chase didn't hesitate. He had his secretary draft fresh divorce papers on the spot and bring the stock transfer agreement too. I smiled. No rush. Take your time raising cash. I'll sign once the decree is in my hand. Chase seethed, hatred crystallizing in his eyes. Please, sis. This party's epic. One visit and you'll beg for a second. All right. Last time I trust you. After the divorce I turned full hermit. Holed up day and night in my new Brooklyn apartment. Mom and Dad, afraid I was grieving, told Max to drag me out and handed me the black card. Truth is, I wasn't sulking. I'd simply never had hours to edit. Once Chase agreed to split, I hired crews to rip out every tile and wire I'd paid for in that Manhattan loft. Then came apartment hunting, moving, furnishing. Only afterward did I remember the limited edition USB drive wasn't finished. Mountains of footage, endless soundtrack options. I stayed indoors. Max kept signing me up for bungee jumps over the Hudson, street races in Queens, skydives over Long Island, so-called life-affirming thrills, so I hit harder. Brother, what is this? Eyeing the row of gorgeous guys in the private lounge of a Manhattan club, I pulled Max aside. Do Mom and Dad know about this? It was their idea, he boasted. They said never pin your heart on one person. Split it into pieces and sorrow can't catch up. Pick one, sis, or the whole menu. Don't worry, Mom and Dad reimburse. The boys read the room in a heartbeat, swarming me. Let me rub your shoulders. Princess. Some water. Gorgeous. I've always had iron self-control. Yet that evening it took minutes before I knelt to tailored trousers and silk pockets. Now I get the saying, a tender nest is a hero's grave. Since that night, I've been a VIP at Velvet, the trendiest club in downtown Manhattan. See you soon. Sis, drive safe. Will do.
Bye.
Just outside the club a guy stepped into my path. Sis, I heard you're divorced, right? Do we know each other? Before I finished, his eyes reddened. Last time, you, me, and your brother went out to Malibu. One night I needed you and walked in while you were. Stop. I remember. I clamped a hand over his mouth. Cold sweat beading. Leo. Got it. Certain he'd say no more. I lowered my hand. So why track me down? He looked pitiful. Sis, my body's just as good. You've seen it. I recalled. Right, 8-pack abs. Smooth and firm. One touch and you crave another. Sis. Leo leaned to my ear. Please spoil me a little? A shiver. Seriously. He's gorgeous. And those eyes could witch you. Under their spell. I nodded before I knew it. Ever since the divorce, Bella has floated on cloud 9. Plus she's pregnant, so Margaret dotes on her. Spotting me shopping alone at a Fifth Avenue mall, she couldn't resist sashaying over. Serena. She cooed in mock concern. Just because Chase and I are together doesn't mean we can't stay friends. Why ghost my calls? Steal a woman's husband, rip the mask off, then offer friendship. What planet is she from? Definitely here to nauseate me. Bad omen. No wonder Chase rushed the divorce, baby on board. She's barren. That's why Margaret materialized. Guilty conscience. Oh, by that logic, you must be the prize-laying hen. Clucking away, Margaret's face darkened in an instant. Serena, watch your tongue. She is still your former mother-in-law. After all, Bella, go wash your ears. She insulted me first. Besides, I no longer have a mother-in-law. The Vance Manor has always been good at nauseating people. The day after the wedding, Margaret handed the company over to Chase to stabilize his position. Chase was so busy his feet barely touched the ground. He couldn't even squeeze out time for a honeymoon. Yet he still urged me to hurry up and get pregnant, buzzing in my ear every single day. On top of that, because I refused to transfer 5% of the company shares to Chase, Margaret kept uttering all kinds of nonsense, irritating me so much that I finally exploded in a huge fight with them before she quieted down. Big sis, got everything. All right, let's go. I had no intention of letting anyone ruin my sweet date with my brother. Ignoring the two of them, I laced my fingers through his and strolled off, completely at ease. Seeing the former daughter-in-law walking with a young guy, Margaret felt thoroughly displeased. A loose woman like that doesn't deserve to be a Vance daughter-in-law. Bella, meanwhile, noticed that Serena had become much prettier, radiant, glowing, her complexion rosy and lustrous. Compare the man beside her. Taller than Chase, handsomer than Chase, younger than Chase. She didn't know if he had money, but given her family background, keeping a few cute guys around wouldn't be a problem. Damn, Bella thought, did I just help her jump out of the fire pit? Big sis, you're really not taking me with you. I can drive for you. Not necessary. Stay put and behave. We'll play when I get back. Beauty is distracting. Running into them reminded me I still had unfinished business. The girls here? Quick, tell the others. Girl, did you bring the USB drives for us?
Yeah.
We thought something happened to you. Oh, a little family trouble, but it's all taken care of now. I was mortified. Making my friends wait this long made me feel like a terrible person. Here, ma'am, the sweet and wholesome edition. This one's the animal-themed set. Time flew. The next time I heard news of Chase, I learned he'd been booted from the company. Lost the internal power struggle? Pretty much. The first couple of years after inheriting went fine, but then people kept praising him until he forgot his own weight, arrogant and full of himself. Plenty of people couldn't stand him, but they put up with it because he was chairman. After a few bad decisions that cost the company heavy losses on a Brooklyn construction project, shareholders revolted. His father had to retake the helm, and Chase was reduced to a figurehead. And then, her father found it amusing. He'd worried his daughter might never get over the divorce. Yet here she was, in the mood for gossip. Clearly she'd recovered just fine. He'd mentioned Chase's situation once before, but apparently she hadn't retained a word. With no real power left, his fighting spirit vanished too. For some reason he tried to steal trade secrets. To persuade the company to drop the lawsuit, his father stepped back in, transferred every last share, and revoked Chase's ceremonial post. Now the company is run by his uncle. Tisk, quite the spectacle, but he asked for it. By the way, your brother says there's an authorization form on your desk. What's it for? Chase signed it. I took a calm sip of water. Secret. My little boyfriend's birthday. What should I buy? This one or that one? Too hard to choose. Forget it. I'll just call and ask him. Serena. Who's calling me? Chase. Serena. You're still so beautiful. Move. I've got nothing to say to you. He had finally run into her at a Manhattan cafe. Of course Chase wouldn't let the chance slip. He followed close behind. Serena. I just want you to know, I didn't betray you on purpose. That woman seduced me. If not for her, we'd never have divorced. And back then you weren't getting pregnant. Chase. Don't you dare shift blame. I remember you said we'd hold off on kids those 2 years. And you spent all day buried in company work. Who exactly was I supposed to get pregnant with? Have you no shame? That tactic failing. He tried another. Fine. My fault. I have time now. And I heard you're not married. Whoa. Hold up. I'm not married because I don't want to be. Not because of you. Don't flatter yourself. A string of setbacks had eroded his patience. He immediately tried to drag her off by force. But I'm no pushover either. Thud. One shoulder throw left him flat on the ground, unable to get up. Looking at Chase, covered in dust, I felt fantastic. All those months of martial arts lessons at a Brooklyn dojo finally paid off. I should treat myself properly. Chase regretted everything. His life had been a broad, smooth highway, yet he insisted on messing around until it shrank into a narrow, winding path. If he could do it over, he would stay far far away from Bella. She belonged to his uncle, planted beside him by design. Under her seduction he betrayed his marriage and sold trade secrets. If his uncle's wife hadn't stormed in, he'd never have learned the child he doted on was actually his uncle's son. Had he not divorced Serena, with her family's backing, he could have risen again, but if only is all that's left. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe for more wonderful tales. See you next time.